I looked at Mary Jane and sneered, "Mom, now take a good look at his shadow. See what he is." My mom looked at the ground in confusion. I saw that Mary Jane's shadow on the ground was extremely strange. That's not a figure at all, but the shadow of Wong Tai Sin. "What is this?" My mom reacted and let out a scream. With my mother's exclamation, Mary Jane suddenly stiffened. "Run away." Of course, I won't let him run away like this. Mary Jane is not dead, just controlled. It started because of me. I can't stand by and watch. I quickly chased after Mary Jane. Immediately stick a demon-suppressing talisman on his back. I took out the copper bell and rang it. Silent incantation between 6 and 6. Within 4 Cs. A search for a memory of evil rebel sect. This is Liu He demon hunting art. From Netherland and Fairy. I learned that at the age of 14. But this is my first time actually fighting. I just finished the formula. Mary Jane's body suddenly stiffened. Then he fell straight to the ground. In the grass not far away, a huge yellow skin popped out. He was standing up, baring his teeth at me and grinning a few times. And then he disappeared. This yellow leather is not the same as the one under the car. His coat is white, obviously a female. It should be just a pair with that. The discoloration of the fur is obviously intelligent. I must have practiced for hundreds of years. I didn't kill him all. It's not that I'm afraid of him. The main yellow skin is very vengeful. And I'm leaving soon. I don't want to cause disaster to my mother and the villagers. It didn't take long for Mary Jane to wake up. He just sat there, not knowing what was going on. I didn't tell him he was being bullied. The matter of Daxian possession. After Mary Jane leaves, I found a place. Will, the yellow leather dowry poured from the tomb was buried. Go home. My mom is sitting in the house in a daze. Then he realized that I was the same person as my grandfather. I won't say much more. In fact, my grandfather has already paved the way for me. I will definitely come back to repay you when I have the opportunity in the future. I knelt down in front of my mother and cried and said, "My fate and Selena Liu are linked together. This moo of yellow leather in the village gave me a grade. Selena Liu might also be in trouble. I have to go quickly. My mother is a true rural woman. No culture. But at this moment, she suddenly became a righteous person. Yellow skin, go ahead. Don't embarrass your grandpa if you're angry." My mother looked at me with determination. I grabbed my bags and leave still. I dare not look back, afraid of crying. Just got out of the hospital. My mother's voice suddenly sounded. "When you are stable in the future, bring the girl from the city back and show her to Mom." In fact, my mother likes him very much. At this moment, my mother finally spoke her mind. He didn't admit before that he wanted to make face for his son. I didn't look back. Get on the bus and go straight to the train station. After more than 5 hours on the green leather train, I came to Ganzin City. Pretty soon, I found a funeral street called Feng Street. There is a store for transfer just deep in the street. I contacted the landlord and placed an order. After all, I need a place to stay first. The shop took 110,000. This money was left to me by my grandfather. I didn't move a single 1 million. The Liu family broke off their marriage. After that, I followed the address Selena Liu gave me. Found the Liu family. I was surprised to see the Liu mansion, because he can't say it's a villa. And I took a full look at my surroundings, but shook his head helplessly. Liu Chen lied to me. He can't believe in Feng Shui. If not for finding a powerful Feng Shui master to publish, he couldn't have built his family home here. Because behind this manor is the famous King Long Mountain. King Long Mountain is famous in Feng Shui circles. Tang Wen and Song Li period. There used to be a ghost statue of Laguan in Kowloon here. Then a lot of strange things and murders happened. So 9 out of 10 houses built after that are haunted houses. But this courtyard in Liachen is different. He must have been instructed by an expert to take a different view of the West. But since Liu Chen believes this, why did you lie to me that he didn't believe it? I'm standing not far away wondering. Suddenly see Liu Chen and A. The 60-year-old man walked out of the manor. "Mr. Shen, I have already returned the marriage of the Chen family. To be honest, I've been a little flustered these 2 days. If anything happens to Chen, you have to help me block it. You also know that the name of King Ma Ghost Hand is indispensable. I'm afraid he still has something to do." Liu Chen said politely to the 60-year-old man. The 60-year-old's eyebrows are oxygenated, full of disdain. "If Chen Yan is still alive, I will never let you do this. But others have been buried. His descendants have no Feng Shui talent. That kid Chen Long is even more frail and sickly. Unusable. His mother's pulse is broken. Don't worry, Aoyama. Let Selina marry my grandson. It's good for both of us. In case there is a fool, I'll take it. I listened to the words of the 60-year-old man. Liu Chen's face eased a lot. He smiled and said to let Selina and 100 years old get married. It's really better than being with that Chen Long. The two of us are a match. But you also know Selina's temperament. Can it be done? It depends on whether their juniors have fate or not. The old man laughed heartily a few times. You look confident. Then he got in the car and left. I have excellent hearing. I really listened to their conversation. At that time, I felt that my chest was very stuffy and uncomfortable. Later, I found out that the old man's name was Shen Chuji. He is the #1 figure in the Feng Shui masters of Ganzan City. Shen Chuji has a grandson named Shen Baisui, a little talent in Feng Shui, but he was obsessed with Selina Liu. That's normal. Someone who can be picked out by grandpa to kiss my doll. Selina Liu's lifestyle is definitely not ordinary. I really want to rush over and tell Liu Chen. I will do what others will, but I can't do it. I have to figure something out. Let Selina Liu take the initiative to marry me. This matter, it doesn't violate the rules set by grandpa. But here's what I'm afraid of. Before the retribution of the Liu family comes, if Liu Selina and Shen Baisui get along well, it will be troublesome. Thinking of this, I shook my head helplessly. Everything has its own laws of operation. In the end, whether he and I can make it or not depends on God's will. Pack up your emotions. I went back to Zhaofeng Street, ready to go back to the store to sleep. Just as I was walking to the store, not far from the roadside, two people got off a sports car. Upon closer inspection, the woman was Selina Liu, and the men dressed up like boys. Although he looks average, he has his own extravagance. It must be Shen 100 years old. It's midnight. A sports car is parked on Zhaofeng Street. It seems a little out of place. I thought Shen Baisui would bring Selina Liu here. You must be well-intentioned. Immediately followed quietly. Shen Baisui, did you bring me here at night to scare me? I'm telling you, I don't believe that. Selina Liu said a little unhappily. Shen Baisui smiled and said, Selina, my grandfather has a conversation with my uncle. Didn't they let us hang out? I thought we were going to get married sooner or later. Let you feel the atmosphere of the Feng Shui world in advance. Good to you, I sneered in my heart. Funeral Street became a Feng Shui realm in his mouth. This Feng Shui world is too cheap. Selina Liu frowned in displeasure. I'm too lazy to feel. And don't talk nonsense in the future. Our relationship. I have a fiancé, it's not that you don't know. Hearing this warmed my heart. At least in my opinion, he really doesn't hate me. The fiancé you mentioned is Chen Long, that sick child. Like smoke, you can pull it down. My grandfather said you to have broken off your marriage. God's centenarian face shows hunger. Didn't take me seriously at all. Selina Liu immediately said angrily, keep your mouth clean for me. Just because he can't read Feng Shui doesn't mean he's a waste. In my eyes, he is better than you. At least people are honest. Shen Baisui smiled and was not angry. Look, there's a paper shop here that's still open. I'll show you there. I can make paper people come alive. Do you believe it? Selina Liu cut. Obviously don't believe it. Then he followed Shen Baisui to the paper shop. I can do it with my toes. I'm afraid Shen Baisui is going to play some tricks. I can't let that happen. Hastily followed. I hid not far away and looked into the paper shop. Only see this moment. Shen Baisui picked up an ink-stained brush, painted on the face of a paper man. He's trying to put the finishing touch on the paper man. Finishing the paper man is taboo for the paper tie maker, because it is easy to attract dirty things. Thinking of this, I immediately took out a talisman in my left hand, then silently recite Soul Lord to prevent accidents. Selina is optimistic. Don't be afraid. Shen Baisui. Pretend to be mysterious and give some of the paper man's 2 eyes. There is a smoke sword finger on the person and no response. Sneered, there was no reaction. I told you that you lied and that didn't work for me. Shen Baisui smiled calmly at this time. At the same time, quietly dropped towards the paper tie deep in the shop. He winked. When I saw this scene, I finally reacted. It's not Shen Baisui who has the ability to have feelings. Indoor paper tea. I saw the hands of the paper tea, holding a 3-story tower. The tower is made of agarwood. Soul-locking tower is dedicated, used to concentrate oxygen souls. The paper tie maker quietly tore off the talisman on the soul-locked tower. Immediately, a dark shadow flew towards the paper figure. It was a 30-year-old ghost with no spirit substance, but due to being locked for a long time, it has become a tinkering tool. The ghost soon took on the body of the paper man, originally quiet paper figure. Suddenly, it seemed to be swept away by a gust of wind. The pain floated up. Selina Liu screamed when she saw this scene. Don't be afraid like smoke. With me and Shen Centennial, a brave posture. She stood in front of Selina Liu. Liu Selina was behind Shen Shui. Hit the guts and look at the paper figure flying in the air. He was also very curious about what happened. The paper man floats in the air and keeps making bursts of sound effects. This time, Selina Liu was completely dumbfounded. You gotta get this thing back to normal. Otherwise, I'm going to have nightmares at night. Selina Liu looked scared. Shen Shui smiled evilly. Draw a half-assed void talisman in the air. Winks at the pulp again. Then there were words in my mouth. What evil spirit dares to scare my fiancé? Get out of here. Naza will only immediately pinch a soul lord. At the same time, one obedient to the soul-locking tower. Want to take back the lonely soul. I sneered in the distance and wanted to run after pretending to be an expert. It's not that simple. Then I meditated on soul training. A divine stone hit the paper man. So the paper man is under my control. That lonely soul sucked my stone. Wake up suddenly. The spirit essence that had been detained and scattered suddenly recovered. There was a scream coming out of his mouth. Next second, he lunged at the centenarian like crazy. Shen Shui danced and waved his hands. How can there be any feng shui that should look like it? Selina Liu. I was also frightened by the paper people who suddenly became violent. He hid in the corner and shivered. That finger will look at this scene and frown. He took a yellow paper charm and stuck it on the paper man. But the moment the yellow talisman comes into contact with the paper man, burned out. It didn't work. The paper man has no intention of stopping. Turned around and attacked the paperty again. No matter how many talismans this paperty put up, it didn't work. Uncle Zhang, what's the matter? Why did this heroic spirit suddenly become so fierce? Shen Shui looked at the paper figure in horror. The paper tie maker also looked puzzled. It's really evil. The evil spirit of 6 years of captivity has long dissipated. Why did you suddenly not obey orders today? Suddenly, the next second, he seemed to think of something. He knelt on the ground with a plop, shouting that I was wrong. Ask for dedication. And Shen Shui was puzzled about Uncle Zhang. What do you mean? Where did the expert come from? The scum will kneel on the ground. He whispered that we were caught by an expert in our acting, but they are punishing us. This is extremely humane. Far beyond me. Kneel down. Otherwise, we won't be able to eat and walk around today. Although Shen Shui is arrogant, but he knew that life was more important now. The strong man also quickly knelt down and shouted that the expert begged you to appear. As soon as I heard this, I just leisurely walked out from not far away. Shen Shui didn't take me seriously, and he looked up at me. I'm not happy to ask where you came from. Get out of the way. Don't get in the way of the master. Jia Zhijiang's face changed. Immediately stop Shen Centennial. Centennial, shut up. This should be the apprentice of the expert. Then he looked at me and said, Little master, quickly ask the commander to take action to collect this supernatural power. At this time, Selina Liu, who had been hiding in the corner, exclaimed, Brother Huang Pai, why are you here? There's danger. You run. Standing in front of me, Selina Liu seemed to have forgotten her fear. Those big watery eyes were full of worry. I'm warm in my heart. This is what's meant to be. Don't worry about smoke. I can do this. Solve it. I looked at him gently and said, Chen Shui saw me come forward. Immediately mocked. You are the sick child Chen Long. Are you not as honest as Selina said? After saying that, he stood up subconsciously. Obviously don't want to be killed by me. Brother Yellow, don't come near him. This thing is fierce. Selina Liu was very scared. Obviously don't believe I'm capable of dealing with this thing. I smiled. Go straight to the paper figure floating in the air. Obviously expecting this paper figurine to kill me, I picked up the soul axe that I had already prepared. Just stick it on the paper man. The souls in there will be scattered immediately. He was quiet for a while. Suddenly, it became vicious again, like dying. I shook my head helplessly. He should have been reborn long ago. They were kept in captivity for years. Even if I just gave him a piece of the oracle, he's still having a hard time recovering. Snacks are just a tool. If you meet me today, I will cross you. I looked at him and I muttered to myself. Shen Shui heard what I said. Chen Long couldn't help laughing. You can't beat this evil spirit. Make excuses for yourself. You're funny, kid. Will find a way for himself. He knew that crossing ghosts was harder than killing them. I ignored him, and I put my hands together. Begin to meditate on the order of the deceased. Beyond the ghosts. All for lives are blessed. Head super. Headless life. Bagua radiance. Beyond the birth of others, it is male and female, and it is their own destiny. Rich and poor. Humiliating yourself. Shi Ling and the others are in a hurry to escape. After reading, I raised my right index finger. Then suddenly make the king point a little between the eyebrows. I pointed the middle finger. The person was stunned for a moment. After a few seconds, the whole body twists desperately. Struggled. There was a gloomy cry in his mouth. Call Chen Long. Can you stop pretending to understand? You are trying to provoke evil spirits. Completely killed us. Shen Baisui saw the scene and subconsciously ran away. Selina Liu also whispered to me in fear, Brother Yellow. He looks like he's going crazy. No, let's run. They just finished speaking. The crazy paper man. Suddenly, there was silence. He fell to the ground and didn't move. Then he knelt down and kowtowed solemnly to me. And I looked at him. He said flatly, hurry up and report to the underworld. I just finished speaking. The paper man caught fire and drowned in an instant. Half a minute later, it turned to ashes. Thank you, Mr. Little, for saving my life. Dare to ask Ling Damning. The scum will be relieved and thank me. But he still thought it was my master who secretly helped. I neither admitted nor denied that I had a teacher. Just said to him lightly, learning skills is not about letting you come out and pretend. Charms are cruel. If there is a next time, I can't help you. Selina Liu, next to her, obviously understand what I mean. He looked at Shen Baisui angrily and scolded Shen Baisui. You make me sick. Shen Baisui was still thick-skinned and continued to quibble like smoke. Don't listen to his nonsense. This is all a play that this kid hired someone to play. He's trying to ruin our relationship. I'd better take you back first. Selina Liu looked at the 100 years old with disdain. I don't want you to send it. Then he came to me and smiled and said, Brother Yellow, so late. Take me home. We took a taxi. Soon arrived at the Liu family courtyard. Standing at the door, I have a lot to say to Liu Selina, but I don't know where to start. Brother Huang Pai, you really know those skills. I didn't believe it before. But today, I believe. Selina Liu looked at me with excitement. I just nodded and didn't say much. Are you great? I just watched that paper figure kneel down to you. I kind of admire you. Selina Liu continued with her eyes shining. I looked at him and smiled, okay? I still have the ability to protect you. He blushed and lowered his head. Soon, he looked up again and said to me, Brother Yellow, why don't you come to my house? You come with me to meet my dad. If he is in danger because of you. Changed my mind about marrying Shen Baisui. That would be great. Looking at Liu Selina's expectant face, I couldn't bear to say no to him. He followed him into the courtyard of the Liu family. At this time, Liu Chen was playing with an antique. When he saw me, frowning and asking Yellow Skin, why did you come to Ganzan? I politely replied that I was tired of being at home. I want to come out and see the outside world. Then Liu Chen looked at me politely. So, did you find a job? Uncle Liu has many companies. Otherwise, I will arrange a position for you later. Selina Liu was beside her, excitedly talking about what happened just now. Dad, Brother Huang is also a Feng Shui master. I saw him catch a ghost just now. Liu Chen heard it but was unmoved. Even the complexion turned gloomy and yellow. I don't want to touch these things like smoke. You have broken off the marriage. Selina also has a new marriage. To avoid suspicion, don't contact Selina in the future. You just have to promise Uncle Liu. Go back and Uncle Liu will introduce you to a lady and keep you prosperous and prosperous all your life. I was just about to say something. A cold voice suddenly came to mind not far away. Who said my daughter was going to be engaged to Shen Baisui? With this cold crane. She was wearing a dark green cheongsam. Charming temperament. The charm still exists. Her name is Zhu King. Liu Chen's wife. She is also Selina Liu's mother. Selina Liu heard this voice. Eyebrows and eyes, dear mommy. You also don't want me to marry that stubborn Shen Baisui. Well, I pricked up my ears and thought about this woman. Are you going to speak for me? Zhu King didn't answer immediately. Instead, take the perfume and keep spraying it on yourself. I didn't take it seriously. I thought she was a beautiful woman. Of course. How could my daughter marry Shen Baisui? Mom's looking for a new son-in-law. I'll take you to meet her." After saying that, Zhu King will come over and pull Liu Selina's hand, just when Zhu King came to me, from the strong smell of perfume. But I smelled something else. It's an unusually bad smell. I'm familiar with this smell. It was the smell of the dead weasel that became a spirit. I stand still, immediately refreshed, and looked at Zhu King's face. There was a layer of air on his face. A pair of pupils shone black. Where is this Selina Liu's mother, Zhu King? Obviously the day of the divorce. The Huang Daxian who followed Liu Selina and the others out of the village.